I didn't realize right away that something was off. Eric and I had our usual rhythm. Classes together, home together, mac and cheese every other night, shows, late night talks about internships. He wasn't perfect, none of us are, but I really believed we had something real. We moved into this 2-bedroom across from campus about a year and a half ago. At the time, it felt like the logical next step. Even romantic. I bought a doormat that said, "Welcome home," and we hung our collage of photos on the kitchen wall. It all felt right. We had our little group too. Jess and Max, our couple friends who never stopped flirting with each other, and Lily. My Lily. We met freshman year, maybe even during orientation, I honestly forget. We became friends fast, easily, like it was meant to happen. She even helped me pick out Eric's birthday gift that year, a vinyl player he barely uses now. The first signs were subtle. Eric started staying on campus more after class. Group project, he'd say. Or gotta hit the library. I believed him. Because trust. Well, trust is everything, right? That's what I thought. He was still around, technically, but something had shifted. His eyes looked more guarded, his voice more mechanical. He started acting weird about where his phone was. I found myself watching him leave the room, which, yeah, not normal. Then came that Friday night. Everyone was over. Lily brought wine, Jess brought pizza. Everyone was laughing and talking. I went into the bedroom to find a charger, left my phone on the kitchen counter. When I came back, Lily and Eric were talking close, too close. Lily was laughing, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, and Eric was looking at her like nothing else in the room mattered. And it wasn't the usual look. I know how he looks at me when he loves me. This was different. Too alive. I decided to check. I'm not proud of it, but I did what plenty have done before me. Waited until he fell asleep and grabbed his phone. The password hadn't changed. I scrolled through the messages with Lily and almost dropped the phone. There were photos, their hands clasped under the table. Lily in my t-shirt. My damn t-shirt. And messages like, "You drive me crazy," and "I can't keep hiding this." The last one from him. "Come over when she goes to class early." I lay next to him that night. Pretended everything was fine. Stared at the ceiling and tried not to shake. My brain was in some weird mode. Everything slowed down. I didn't cry. I just felt something slip away. Like a piece of me had gotten stuck in their chat. The next morning, I made breakfast. He kissed my temple. Said, "You're the best." I smiled. I didn't know what else to do. Blow everything up? Pretend I didn't know? I needed time. To think. So I chose the second option. For now. Everything on campus seemed normal. But I couldn't look at Lily the same. She'd whisper jokes in my ear, talk about her mystery guy who wasn't ready to go public yet. I nodded, drank coffee, played along. But something inside clenched every time she touched my arm. Every time I remembered her sitting on our couch, drinking from my mug, laughing in my direction. I started noticing more. Eric didn't touch me like he used to. Didn't ask about my day. Didn't kiss the back of my head when I was reading. He got quiet, distant, and I became the observer. Piecing together the lie, broken, crooked, but obvious. One evening, when he was working on the project, again, I followed him. Sat in a cafe across from campus, ordered tea, and waited by the window. 15 minutes later, he walked out, alone. Then Lily showed up. They didn't kiss. They just walked toward our building. Silent. In sync. I sat there until the tea went cold. Until people came and left. Until the streets emptied. I didn't know what to do. Tell Jess. Kick him out. Confront Lily? I was afraid of making the first move. Because once I did, it would all be over. And as long as I played dumb, I still had the illusion. The illusion of normal. I got home late. They were already asleep. Or pretending to be. Lily had left an earring on the bathroom sink. I put it in my pocket. Just like that. I don't even know why. Maybe so she'd know that I knew. Maybe just to remind myself I wasn't crazy. The next day, I smiled again. Made toast. Cleaned the apartment. My thoughts floated like fish under ice. Silent. Heavy alive. I was bracing for the storm. But for now, I chose silence. After that night, everything felt a little stereo. Like I was watching my life from the outside. Observing Savannah, go to class, answer texts, joke with friends. But I knew the truth. I knew it was all a performance. In the morning, I'd iron Eric's shirt and think about how he'd take it off later, not with me. I'd hear Lily's voice asking, "Pass the salt," and see those messages again. That damn t-shirt. Her lipstick in my mirror. I couldn't brush my teeth anymore without thinking about how she might have stood in the exact same spot, in front of the exact same mirror, right after him. I started stashing things away. It wasn't some grand plan. more like an instinct. I put my childhood blanket, the one I still slept with, in a box under the bed. Took my earrings off the dresser. Stored the jewelry Eric had given me in the drawer with old documents. My stuff slowly disappeared from shelves, not as a threat, just in case I needed to vanish quickly. He didn't notice, or pretended not to, or didn't want to see. I caught myself wondering, what if he's really in love with Lily? And that thought made me angrier. I didn't want her to win. I didn't want to give them this apartment, this comfort I had built. That kitchen smelled like my pasta sauce. Those throw pillows, I picked them. They were living inside my story, like side characters who'd hijacked the plot. One night, Jess suggested a movie night at our place. Max and I will bring popcorn. Lily's got the wine. You bring the blanket, she texted. I didn't know how to say no without sounding off, so I agreed. Instinctively. Stupidly. That evening, everything was as usual. Lily showed up in new lipstick, again, wearing my shirt. I watched her like an actress in a bad play. I knew she was lying. Knew how good she was at it. Eric sat next to me, his hand on my thigh. Everyone was laughing. I just heard a doll buzz in my head. When they all left, I cleaned the kitchen alone. Eric said he was tired and went to bed. I washed glasses and stared out the window. The seconds stretched like gum. At some point I realized I hadn't cried since that night. Not once. And that scared me. Not because I couldn't, but because, honestly, I didn't want to. The next day on campus, I ran into Jess. She said Lily had been acting weird. She's always distracted, like she's hiding something. I almost laughed, but I stayed quiet. I didn't want Jess to know. Not yet. Not until I decided. That night, I went through Eric's phone again. Not for proof, I already had that. I was looking for scale. How many days? Where? How often? I wanted to know the scope. Then, almost on autopilot, I sent myself a few screenshots. I didn't know what I'd do with them, but it felt like gathering weapons, just in case I needed to go to war. A week later, Lily asked to crash at our place. Her door was jammed. Eric looked at me like he was waiting for permission. I nodded. Inside, I was screaming. On the outside, silence. She slept on the couch. At least, I hoped she did. Though around dawn, I thought I heard footsteps. Or the bed creak. Or maybe I imagined it. When I woke up, Lily was already gone. Eric acted like nothing happened. I watched him make eggs and thought, what if I just disappeared? Packed a bag and left. Gave them the apartment, the lie each other. That thought didn't scare me. It felt like relief. But then I remembered, my mom. If I left, I'd have to tell her. Explain why I wasn't living with Eric anymore. Why I wasn't speaking to Lily. I knew she'd take it harder than I did. She liked Eric. She used to say, he's steady, calm, you're safe with him. How could I tell her that safety was a lie? So I stayed, made coffee, smiled, played the part, and then, something weird happened. One evening, Lily and I were in the library pretending to work on a lab report. She suddenly said, Say, Vi, I need to tell you something. I turned to her. My heart pounded. I think I'm in love, she said. But I can't say who. Not yet. I stared at her. She was watching my face for a reaction. A clue. That I knew. That I suspected. Really? I said. Well, you'll tell me when you're ready. Promise, she said. I barely slept that night. She had promised. Promised to tell me. I wanted her to choose honesty. Just once. I wanted to see if she could destroy everything on her own, without me doing it for her. I was giving them a chance. A weird one, but a chance. To say something. To confess. While it was still possible to walk away clean. While it wasn't too late. But they stayed silent. And with every day, I felt something take shape inside me. Something cold and heavy. Like I wasn't a person anymore, but an iceberg slowly drifting toward shore. It didn't happen according to plan. There wasn't one. Just something inside me snapped. Too much had piled up. I was tired of silence, of the thoughts that kept me up at night, of watching them pretend nothing was happening. The lies were everywhere, seeping into every morning, every glance, every hey, and how was class? That Saturday, I woke up not with heaviness, but with rage. A dense, cold rage that didn't shake, didn't shout. It just settled, solid and inevitable. I knew where they were. I'd read their messages. I'd check the schedule. They had no classes that day, no group projects. Just each other, and a secret they thought I was too soft to confront. They assumed I'd swallow it all again. That I'd choose peace. They didn't realize I was done being convenient. I got dressed quickly. No breakfast. Grabbed my phone and headphones, though I didn't play music. I needed silence. I walked straight to Lily's apartment, No hesitation, no detours. I remembered she never locked her door. She always brushed it off like it was nothing. Back then it seemed careless. Now it was an invitation. I walked in. The smell hit first. Her sweet shampoo, coffee, maybe incense. I didn't pause. I heard voices down the hallway. Quiet, muffled. I walked toward her bedroom and opened the door. There they were. On her bed. She was in my t-shirt, tangled up with him, her leg draped over his. Both froze like someone had ripped them out of a dream. Their faces turned pale. Eric's mouth opened but no words came out. Lily didn't even try to speak. I didn't say anything. Just stared. Long and steady. My heart wasn't racing. I felt no panic. Only a searing, clear rage. The kind that doesn't need sound. I turned around and walked out. No slamming doors. No theatrics. It wasn't their ending. It was mine. I wandered for hours. I couldn't go back to the apartment. Not yet. I didn't want to see remnants of us, of what used to be. I walked past cafes, past couples, past classmates who smiled like their lives were still intact. I didn't care where I went. Just not home. When I finally returned, it was already dark. Eric was there. Waiting, like nothing had happened. Sitting at the kitchen table. I felt something twist inside me. I hated how easy it was for him to look casual, like we could talk. He tried. He stood up, stammered something. I walked past him. He followed, started explaining. It was a mistake. I didn't know how to tell you. It didn't mean anything. I didn't respond. Just looked at him and thought, you must really not respect me at all. He talked for a long time. Apologies. Regrets. Excuses. I stood still. Let him finish. Then I told him to leave. He refused. Said he paid half the rent, that we had a lease until the end of the semester. And I realized he wasn't going anywhere. Not yet. We were stuck. In the same space. In the same bed. Attending the same classes. Sharing the same air. It was suffocating. The next few days were a nightmare. We existed like strangers. I barely slept. He kept trying. Left coffee for me in the mornings. I dumped it in the sink. Sent texts. Can we talk? I miss you. Please. I blocked his number. On campus, I avoided Lily. Not because I was scared of her, because I didn't want to see how guiltless she looked. She never approached me. Never texted. Never apologized. That told me everything. I became blunt. Cold. Professors asked if I was okay. I nodded. Just noticed something was off, but I didn't share. I didn't trust anyone. Betrayal felt contagious. Like if I let anyone in again, they'd use it against me. Eric kept trying. One day I found notes. Torn notebook paper. Handwritten. I'm sorry. I miss us. Please let me fix this. I didn't read them. Just tore them up. He didn't deserve my words. Not even his own. It was hard to focus in class. We shared lectures. Group assignments. Sometimes the professor would pair us together. I worked silently. Professionally. He tried a joke, lighten the mood. I stared through him. Occasionally, I caught him looking at me with that pathetic, regretful expression. I thought you should suffer. That's the bare minimum. I started looking for a room to rent. Found one within a week, from a girl in the design department. Paid the deposit. I didn't tell him. Just started moving things, piece by piece. He noticed eventually. Asked me what was going on. I said, this is better for both of us. He didn't argue. Just nodded. He looked like he finally understood. And then I left. No final fight. No closing monologue. Just gone. Let them stay in the apartment, in their little fantasy. Let them build a life on whatever broken thing they thought was love. I used to think revenge was petty, weak, the last resort of people who couldn't move on. I told myself that real strength was in detachment, in indifference. I tried to believe that for the first couple weeks after moving out, tried to rebuild my life with study sessions, new routines, music in my ears. But the anger didn't fade. It evolved. It didn't burn hot, it hardened. It sat in my chest like a brick. I saw Eric almost every day. Our campus was small. Sometimes he'd stop walking, like he wanted to say something, but I just kept moving. One time he left a note on my desk. Save, please. I crumpled it without reading. Then one afternoon in the library hallway, I overheard someone say, Eric? Yeah, I think he's seeing that girl from med school now. Moved on fast. I kept my face still, but inside, something clenched. It wasn't jealousy. It was disgust. He was building a new chapter like he hadn't burned the last one to the ground. He kept going like nothing happened. And I was still stuck with the smoke. Eric cared deeply about his image. He was the good guy. Smart, responsible, reliable. Professors liked him. Classmates trusted him. No one would ever guess he had cheated on me with my best friend while living under my roof. To the outside world, I just quietly left. He was the guy who got dumped. Poor thing. I wasn't going to stay quiet. First, I wrote everything down, calm and motionless. Facts. Names. Dates, times. Screenshots. Not for social media. Not for a public meltdown. Just documentation. I compiled it into a PDF and anonymously emailed it to the department head. No signature. No message. Just the truth, handed over. Then I waited. 2 weeks. 3. Nothing happened. Eric still showed up to lectures like everything was fine. Still smiled in class. Still the dependable one. That's when I knew, if I wanted results, I had to speak louder. Our school had a student forum, semi-anonymous, locked to campus email addresses. Like a mini Reddit. People posted memes, roommate horror stories, campus gossip. I made a new profile and wrote a post. Let me tell you about a certain apartment. He's a student in econ. She was his girlfriend. They lived together, made plans, shared rent. While she was in class, he brought over her best friend. They used her bed, drank from her mugs, laughed in her space. She found out, moved out, and he stayed behind like nothing happened. She stayed quiet, but some of us think silence should stop protecting him. I didn't use names, but the screenshots spoke volumes. I cropped them to hide identifying info, but left in just enough. Dates, phrases they thought were private. Too real to ignore. The post exploded. People commented nonstop. Some guessed who it was. This sounds like Eric from econ, someone else wrote. I heard he hooked up with his ex's friend. Damn. Memes followed. One was a stock photo of a guy holding 2 mugs, captioned, "When you lose your girlfriend but keep her kitchenware." I passed students in the hallway whispering, "Don't be an Eric." Laughter. Snickers. He noticed. He changed. At first, he looked confused. Then tight-lipped. Then just smaller. He stopped sitting with his usual group in the cafeteria. Started skipping events. At lectures, he stayed quiet. Alone. People who used to laugh with him now just nodded stiffly or didn't acknowledge him at all. It wasn't a movie victory. There was no dramatic music. Just a slow unraveling. And it was enough. He texted me from a new number. "Was that you? You humiliated me. Why would you do this? This is ruining everything." I didn't answer. He called it humiliation. I called it balance. I never posted photos. Never named names. Just gave the facts a place to breathe. If his reputation couldn't withstand the truth, maybe it never deserved the praise to begin with. Jess messaged me later that week. "Hey, that post, was that you?" "Yes. I mean, I get it. He had it coming." "Exactly." Lily didn't show up to class the following Monday. Or the one after. Someone said she was sick. Others said she was avoiding people. I didn't care. Let her sit with her shame. Let her remember that every time someone laughed in the hallway, it could be about her. As for me, I started breathing again. For the first time in weeks, I didn't wake up dreading the day. I could walk past our old apartment building without flinching. I could sit in class without wondering what people thought of me. Because now they knew. Not everything, but enough. The anger didn't vanish. But it softened. I didn't feel like a victim anymore. I felt like someone who took back the narrative. I didn't smile in public. Didn't gloat. But inside I was steady. Calm. Free. After the post, everything moved quickly. First came the whispers. Then the open laughter. Then silence. People stopped pretending nothing had happened. He wasn't invited to group projects anymore. No one asked him to hang out. Those who used to greet him in the halls now walked past like he wasn't there. He became isolated. Worse, he became a punchline. He tried to act normal. Showed up to classes, sat with his laptop, acted like nothing had changed. But I could see the tension in his jaw. The way he avoided eye contact. He didn't try to talk to me again, even from across the room. He knew there were no doors left to knock on. Especially not mine. A month after the post went up, he vanished. Just stopped showing up. One of our mutual classmates said Eric had moved. Got a place in another city. Took a leave of absence. Said he needed a reset. I didn't feel anything. No relief. No victory. Just information. Like hearing a neighbor had painted their house. A few people messaged me. Asked if it was true. One even joked, "Good riddance. The air feels cleaner." I didn't respond. Not out of fear. Just because there was nothing left to say. My part in the story was over. Everything I needed to express, I had already let out. Lily never came back. I didn't see her again. She deleted her social media. Some said she transferred. Others said she took a break like Eric. I didn't check. Honestly, I didn't care. Her image faded in my mind like an old photograph. You can still see the face, but it means nothing. I stayed. I finished school. Quietly. Steadily. I had my morning lectures, evening seminars, sleepless nights before deadlines. I rebuilt myself in the routine. No drama. No noise. No them. By spring, I felt whole again. Not like the naive girl who believed in us against the world, but someone new. The pain had made me sharper. Calmer. I didn't need reassurance in other people's eyes anymore. I learned to like being alone. It didn't betray me. Sometimes I come home late, make tea, sit by the window, and think back on everything. Not with pain, but with clarity. Like looking at a scar that healed clean. I didn't regret it. Not even being with him. That chapter shaped me. And now I'm here, writing this on Reddit. Because maybe someone out there feels like their world is ending. Maybe someone just found out they've been lied to, cheated on, left behind. I want you to know, you can survive betrayal, dishonesty, loneliness, and still be okay. You can still be you. A better you. It's not always clean. Sometimes you stay silent. Sometimes you speak up. Sometimes you take revenge. Sometimes you just keep going. Eric? He's in the past. So is Lily. I don't know where they are. I don't want to know. Maybe they're doing better. Maybe not. That's not my concern anymore. My concern is me. My life. My next steps. And if you're reading this, if you're in that same raw place, I promise you'll make it. You'll live through it. You are not what someone did to you. You are what you did with it after.